How are you, RJ?
I'm great, thank you. Hola and buenos dias.
Great. How are you preparing for this tour, and what do you expect when you come to South America?
I'm expecting a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot of fun. It's been a long time since we've been to South America, and we've missed it a lot. It's a great experience. I've one of the perks of what I do is getting to travel and see the world, and I think it's so healthy for everyone to get out of their own country, get out of their own town, and go see another part of the world. It broadens your perspective on the way the world works. You get to be immersed in different cultures and experience them firsthand, and appreciate the beauty of different places and meeting different people. And I think it's just very healthy for everyone to do that. I've been itching to get back to South America. I just absolutely love it down there. It's so beautiful. The people are so kind and so warm, and the best part about traveling to South America is you don't have to adjust to different time zones, really. So it's
Yeah.
very strange for me to be in out of the country in the same time zone. That's one of the nicest perks of getting to tour in South America.
Yes, of course. And the difference with the audience in here, how do you feel it with other parts of the world?
Well, I feel like I feel very lucky that a lot of the fans in South America are very happy that we're coming back, and I feel like it's probably not too uncommon for a lot of artists not to get down there. In mainstream music artists not to be able to come to South America. So we feel very lucky that we get to go there. And I feel like the audience there, we feel the gratitude from the audience that we make the trip to come down to South America. If we had the choice all ourselves, we would never leave. But a lot of it is up to whether or not we're able to book shows down there through our booking agents, through our management and everything. So we feel a sense of gratitude from the crowds down there because the shows are much less abundant for them, and we feel a great sense of gratitude towards the audience for giving us for allowing us to come down there because it's such a blessing to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's great. And talking about your last record, who came with the name Everest, and what does it mean to you?
I feel like a lot of times when we make records, the album title is like the last thing to finally come into fruition. We just start writing songs and we just kind of let the music guide us where it wants to go. And when the song Everest, when we finally finished the song Everest, we kind of realized that it encapsulated a lot of not only the entire album's theme being our sixth album, I think. I lost count. But also encapsulating our journey as a band over the past, 20 something years. No, more than that. Almost 30 years as a band since 1997. So don't do the math. I moisturize. Uh,
Yeah. Well, you started.
so yeah, when
Yeah,
we wrote the song, we were like, okay, I think that this would be a really good theme for the entire record.
that's great. Well, you started very young, and when you started, since that days, the music industry has passed through a lot of changes, and each time the online world and the streamings are more important. How has been going through those changes during your career?
Yeah, we saw it all. When we were signed to our record label, our management company, it was the mid 2000s, and it was that weird in between period when nobody was buying physical music anymore, but there were no streaming sites. iTunes was brand new. We were just kind of post Napster and piracy and downloading, and so. as a music fan, I didn't mind it because I all of a sudden had access to so much music I didn't have access to before. As a music lover, I'm very grateful that I can listen to everything that's ever been recorded on my phone. And I'm a user of streaming music and download and listening to music. But it was tough for bands at the time because nobody knew where the income was coming from, and it was a scary time for record labels. So when we got signed, it wasn't the best time to get signed as a band because they were like, well, in order for us all to survive, we're gonna have to take a percentage of a lot more things. Now it's gotten a lot more streamlined. It's gotten a lot better. Which I'm really grateful for because it was a scary time. We didn't know what the future of music was going to be, but we felt pretty confident that people were always going to want music, and music was not going to die. The music industry just needed to adapt and adjust, and luckily it did. And it's much better now than it was when we got signed. I'm experiencing that now with my other music project called Chemical Fire. It's a brand new project that we're getting off the ground right now, and it is a completely different landscape than what we were used to when Halestorm started building. And I do find it to be a much better. Everything feels a lot more stable now than it did back then.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Well, which record do you think that was the most important in your career and why?
I guess guys, it's hard to say. It's probably a toss up between the first two because that's your introduction to the world. The first album, we were lucky enough where it did well. It did well enough to greenlight a second record. But the second record, I think, was probably the most vital because a lot of bands, they call it the sophomore slump. If you have a successful first record because you're like the shiny new band and everyone is pushing you and you're getting all the muscle and all the attention and everyone's excited. But if you can't follow up your first record with a successful second record, then a lot of people in the business end will see it as a failure and will not really put as much muscle behind you. So we got lucky enough where our second record, The Strange Case of, did well enough. Miss the Misery, Love Bites, Freak Like Me. Those songs did well enough where it kept us afloat. And I think that kind of solidified us to continue to be able to continue to do music full time.
Yeah. Well, how was to be in such an historic concert as Back to Beginning?
Oh man, that was something. That was that was amazing. Wow. And what an experience. I don't think any of us will experience anything like that ever again. Uh it was yeah, it was not only a massive deal to be on stage with all those legendary bands and to be able to see bands like Gojira and Tool and of course Slayer and Guns N' Roses and Black Sabbath and Metallica and like Mastodon. It was just a star-studded lineup all around, and it was absolutely incredible. But also by the time that Ozzy went on stage, I felt really bad because I don't really keep up with like rock trivia very much. I didn't really know how bad his condition was, and I when I saw him on stage and he wasn't able to stand, that's when it really hit me. I was like, I didn't know that he was in that bad of shape. I knew he had some health problems, but I didn't know it was that bad because he had been off the scene for 6 years, according to I believe 6 years, according to what he said. So so like while he's playing, I'm on my phone like looking up all the statistics and looking up his condition and like really just oh my God, like and like watching him up there and you could tell like he wanted to stand up, he wanted to get into it, but he wasn't able to, and it got me right here. I was just like, man, I'm so uh it's amazing that he's here able to do it. He wants to do it one more time, and also the crowd around me. Everybody was on the same page. They were just in full support of Ozzy, and everything he did, they responded. It was just you could feel the love radiating from the audience to Ozzy, and
Yeah,
it was surreal.
great. A lot of people in tears also.
Yeah, by the time he sang "Mama, I'm Coming Home," it was everybody started crying in the
Yeah,
crowd because he that
yeah,
was he opened up about his condition and everybody was just feeling it and just it was it was really like I don't want to say it was sad to see. It was actually a really joyous night because everybody it just solidified how much of an impact Ozzy has had on the music, on so many people's lives and so many bands' lives. Everybody playing was inspired by Ozzy at some point.
yeah, absolutely. Well, you played in a lot of places, festivals, playing with many bands. Is there any band or particular situation that made like a milestone or that opened your eyes to see the music industry or music world in a different way?
Oh man. Well, Rock in Rio was really fun. That was a pretty amazing moment. God, I hope we get to do that again. Uh, it's hard to pinpoint just one. I guess. In the very, very beginning of our touring lives, the first time we ever got to do a real tour with big national signed headliners, as a freshly signed band, um, we were just wanting to soak up everything. We were wanting to just watch everything, observe everything, because we knew we wanted to do this, and we were having so much fun. We didn't want it to be the last time that we got to actually go on tour. So we were just like, we need to learn all that we can. We need to watch all the bands. We need to see how they interact with crowds, how they get festival crowds really amped up, and we were just wanting to observe and learn all that we could. And I'm really glad that we did uh, because that's something that we always wanted to perfect was our live show. We were always primarily a live band, and that's what we wanted to do, and we wanted to entertain in a live setting. So I would say that, yeah, like the entire first couple years of touring were probably the most impressionable on us, and it taught us a lot. It goes to
Yeah.
show that you can be as prepared as possible before you go on the road, but once you actually go on the road and tour, that's when you really learn. That's when you really tighten up and figure out what to do and what not to do,
Yeah.
and kind of carve up your live show to be as effective as possible.
Well, my last question was related to that because I wanted to ask you how you do you balance having fun in tours and taking care of yourself in order of having a good performance.
Well, nowadays it's a lot more it's a lot more of a priority. Yeah, like when you're in your late teen, like I was like, man, I wasn't even 21 when I in America the drinking age is 21. So, yeah, or I should say in the U.S. drinking age is 21. It's where America is all of us.
Yeah, of course.
That's right. Yeah, in the U.S. the drinking age is 21. So I was like probably 17 or something when I first started touring, and yeah, like when you're that young, you can bounce back pretty quick, and you can party and drink and have fun and stay up until the late hours of the night every night and wake up, shake off the hangover and hit the stage and do it all over again. But now I'm in my mid to late 30s and I have to prioritize the health part of it. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. I really, really love going on tour with a really, really healthy mindset, eating really healthy, going to the gym every day, not drinking, getting plenty of sleep, drinking lots of water, warming up, stretching, mobility, conditioning, icing. Like I throw the kitchen sink at my physical health, and I try to approach touring like an athlete. And I think that's the best way for it to be sustainable. I've seen too many of my peers I wouldn't say peers. I would say too many of my inspirations that have been playing drums for so long, up through their 50s, 60s, and 70s even. And the ones that are still managing to do it properly are the ones that really, at a certain point in their lives, started prioritizing their physical and mental health. And so I'm trying to just get ahead of the curve on that. I'm trying to like really approach it in that way because I've seen the other end where guys will continue partying into their 40s and 50s and then they just burn out and then they can't do it anymore. And it's like, no, I want to be able to continue holding a drumstick. I don't want like horrific arthritis to force me to stop doing this. So yeah, I'm just really trying to be as prepared as possible for that.
Absolutely. Great.
There you go. You
Thank
get
you
out
so much.
there.
Thank you so much. Have a
Muchas
nice day.
gracias. Thank you, Felipe,
Bye.
and we'll see you in a month, a month
Of
and a half.
course. Yeah.
I hope you come to the show and come say hello.
Absolutely. I'll be
All
there.
right, great. And I love the electronic drum kit.
Ah, great.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
All
Bye,
right,
man.
bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.